Introduction. When most people think about success, they imagine intelligence, talent, or hard work. While these qualities certainly matter, Dale Carnegie argued that something even more powerful determines how far you go in life: your ability to understand and work with people. Opportunities often come through relationships. Promotions, friendships, business partnerships, and even personal happiness are influenced by the way you make others feel. In How to Win Friends and Influence People, Carnegie shares timeless principles that help people build trust, communicate effectively, and become more influential without manipulation or force. These lessons have remained relevant for decades because human nature has changed very little. Here are 10 of the book's most valuable lessons. 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying too hard to impress others. We often think people will like us if we talk about our achievements, our opinions, or our experiences. Carnegie explains that the opposite is usually true. Most people are primarily interested in themselves, their own challenges, dreams, and accomplishments. If you become genuinely curious about them, you immediately become more memorable and likable. Showing real interest means asking thoughtful questions, remembering important details, and listening with the intention of understanding instead of waiting for your turn to speak. People can easily detect fake curiosity, so your interest must be sincere. When someone feels understood and appreciated, they naturally enjoy your company more. This simple habit strengthens friendships, improves professional relationships, and creates opportunities that would never exist through self-promotion alone. 2. Smile, because it changes everything. A genuine smile is one of the simplest yet most powerful forms of communication. Before you even say a word, your facial expression tells people whether you are approachable, confident, or welcoming. A sincere smile creates comfort, reduces tension, and makes conversations feel more positive. It costs nothing, but often leaves a lasting impression. Carnegie emphasizes that smiling should never be forced or artificial. Instead, it should reflect genuine warmth and goodwill toward others. Whether you're meeting a client, greeting a colleague, or speaking to a stranger, a friendly expression encourages openness and trust. People are naturally drawn toward positivity, and something as simple as smiling can influence the tone of an entire interaction. 3. Remember that a person's name is important. Everyone enjoys hearing their own name because it is closely connected to their identity. Remembering and using someone's name demonstrates respect, attention, and genuine interest. It tells the other person that they matter enough for you to remember something personal about them. This principle is especially valuable in business and leadership. Customers appreciate being recognized, employees feel valued, and friends develop stronger emotional connections. If you struggle with remembering names, Carnegie encourages making an intentional effort by repeating the name during conversation and associating it with something memorable. Small gestures like this often separate ordinary communicators from exceptional ones. 4. Listen more than you talk. Many people believe that good communicators are excellent speakers. Carnegie argues that the best communicators are actually excellent listeners. People want to feel heard, understood, and respected. When you allow someone to express themselves without interruption, you give them one of the greatest gifts possible: your full attention. Active listening involves maintaining eye contact, asking follow-up questions, and showing genuine curiosity about what the other person is saying. Instead of planning your next response while they're talking, focus completely on understanding their perspective. This habit builds trust, reduces misunderstandings, and often reveals valuable information that would otherwise remain hidden. Great listeners naturally become influential because people feel comfortable opening up to them. 5. Avoid criticizing, condemning, or complaining. Criticism rarely changes people because it immediately triggers defensiveness. When someone feels attacked, they instinctively justify their actions rather than reflecting on them honestly. Even when criticism is deserved, delivering it harshly usually damages the relationship more than it solves the problem. Instead of looking for faults, Carnegie encourages approaching situations with empathy and understanding. Before judging someone, consider the circumstances they may be facing and the reasons behind their behavior. When correction becomes necessary, speak respectfully and focus on solutions rather than blame. People respond far more positively when they feel respected instead of humiliated. 6. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Every person wants to feel important. Recognition satisfies one of the deepest human needs, yet many people go through life feeling unnoticed or undervalued. Carnegie explains that genuine appreciation is one of the most effective ways to strengthen relationships and inspire others. The key is sincerity. Empty flattery is easy to recognize and often creates distrust. Instead, acknowledge real effort, specific achievements, or admirable qualities that genuinely deserve praise. When appreciation is authentic, it motivates people to continue improving while strengthening your relationship with them. People rarely forget those who made them feel valued. 7. Make others feel important. Influential people understand that leadership is not about making themselves appear superior. Instead, they make everyone around them feel respected and appreciated. This creates loyalty, trust, and cooperation because people naturally support those who value them. Simple actions such as asking for someone's opinion, thanking them for their contribution, or recognizing their expertise can have a powerful impact. Whether you're managing employees, building friendships, or negotiating with clients, making others feel important encourages positive relationships that last much longer than authority or intimidation ever could. 8. Avoid arguments whenever possible. Arguments usually create winners and losers, but even the winner often loses the relationship. When people feel embarrassed or defeated, they rarely change their minds. Instead, they become more determined to defend their original position. Carnegie advises approaching disagreements with humility and curiosity. Rather than trying to prove someone wrong, seek to understand why they think the way they do. Respectful conversations create opportunities for learning, compromise, and mutual understanding. Protecting the relationship is often more valuable than winning a debate. 9. Admit your mistakes. Quickly. Everyone makes mistakes, but very few people admit them immediately. Pride often encourages us to make excuses or shift responsibility onto others. Unfortunately, this usually damages trust and makes small problems much worse. Taking responsibility demonstrates confidence rather than weakness. When you admit your mistakes honestly and promptly, people are more likely to forgive you because they recognize your integrity. Leaders who acknowledge their own shortcomings also encourage honesty within their teams, creating stronger relationships built on accountability instead of blame. 10. Influence. Through respect, not force. True influence comes from earning cooperation, not demanding it. People willingly follow those who consistently treat them with kindness, fairness, and respect. Fear may produce short-term obedience, but respect creates lasting loyalty. Whether you're leading a business, raising a family, or building friendships, the goal should never be to control people. Instead, focus on understanding their needs, communicating with empathy, and creating solutions that benefit everyone involved. This approach builds trust over time and allows your influence to grow naturally. Conclusion. The greatest lesson from how to win friends and influence people is that success is deeply connected to how we treat other people. Intelligence, skill, and ambition are valuable, but they become far more powerful when combined with empathy, respect, and genuine interest in others. Carnegie's principles are simple enough for anyone to apply, yet profound enough to transform careers, relationships, and personal growth. By becoming a better listener, showing sincere appreciation, avoiding unnecessary criticism, and making others feel valued. You don't just improve your ability to influence people. You become the kind of person others genuinely enjoy trusting, respecting, and following.